The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Tampa, Florida, weighing in at 275 pounds, Titus O'Neil.
Welcome back to FCW. Titus O'Neil is having this match with Damien Sandow in just moments as a result of what happened last week when these two collided. Titus O'Neil was defeated by Damien Sandow after a handful of tights on the part of Sandow, and then Titus was blindsided after the match, Sandow getting some extra licks in.
Oh, he hung on to the tights. He was blindsided. Damien Sandow defeated Titus O'Neil. That's the bottom line.
That's true. That's all that matters. Who's standing victorious at the end of the match. I like this music. It gets me all stirred up inside.
And his opponent, accompanied to the ring by the general manager of Florida Championship Wrestling, Maxine, the queen of FCW and the Divas champion, Oksana, and the Florida heavyweight champion, Lucky Cannon, from North Oxford, Massachusetts, weighing in at 255 pounds, Damien Sandow.
What a mouthful that was on the part of the introduction of Damien Sandow, but well-deserved. I mean, the All-Stars, the entourage of Maxine has proved so faithful here in FCW over the past few months. It's basically changed the entire face of Florida Championship Wrestling.
She's smiling at me. Maxine,
I don't think that's a good sign, actually.
Oh,
I think that's a very bad sign. You might want to run.
It's a great sign if you got support from the general manager.
When you come from where I come from and, you know, used to the ugly old trollops that I'm used to being with,
Just
that's
saying,
wonderful.
there is venom behind that smile. And there's venom in the heart of that man right there, Lucky Cannon, the Florida heavyweight champion. What he did to Bo Rotundo last week was unconscionable in my book.
You better watch what you say. He's coming over here.
The story right now, though, is Sandow and O'Neil, former Florida tag team champions, one of the more dominant teams we've seen. They had a pretty bad breakup after losing the titles to Richie Steamboat and Seth Rollins in Miami, and these two have never been the same. In fact, Damien Sandow attacking Titus O'Neil on a number of occasions.
Well, why is it a bad breakup? Okay, a guy went from having to babysit his partner, a.k.a. Titus O'Neil, and decided to take a page out of Titus's book. He wanted to make it a win. He wanted to make his career win, so now he's hanging with winners.
Titus O'Neil, many have said it before, and it's hard to doubt the results. Titus O'Neil improved so much when he was paired with Damien Sandow, and Byron, to your credit, you were the one that put those two together when they won the Florida Tag Team titles.
I did.
But is Titus going to be able to overcome the craftiness, the ring savvy of Damien Sandow, in addition to the All-Stars standing at ringside?
I think Titus is in over his head here. I mean, I understand you want to be a hero, you want to overcome the odds and prove that you're better than your partner, but this is beyond Titus's world here. This is bigger than Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil should just turn his head, walk the other way, and focus on creating his own path in FCW away from Damien Sandow.
We saw Bo Rotundo in a very similar situation last week. It was a no disqualification match, so that meant that anything that the All-Stars did was perfectly legal. That's not the case here tonight, but it's still a 4-on-1 situation, and Bo Rotundo is lucky to be walking, in my opinion, after what happened last week.
Sometimes to your own detriment, no, you can't help but, you know, continue in the path you've chosen. And Titus O'Neil obviously feels like he has something to finish with Damien Sandow, and he's doing everything he can to try and put a full stop on that part of his life.
Big time Bill from O'Neil, sending Sandow all the way across the ring. There are so many people to watch here at ringside. Titus O'Neil not only has to have eyes in the back of his head, he's got to have eyes everywhere. Maxine.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that Maxine, Oksana, and the champ, Lucky Cannon, are no strangers to interjecting themselves in a match when the opportunity.
Here we go.
What do you mean, here we go?
Let me just make a point here, Byron. You're a very intelligent, well-schooled, well-educated man.
Yes.
You know what's going to happen as well as I do.
I have no idea until I see it.
Well, I do. And I would use everybody to my advantage and be quite happy to brag about the fact. If you've got people like the All-Stars around you, you use them in every way possible to make sure that you're a winner.
Titus O'Neil doing all he can to fight right now, and he's doing a pretty good job. You got to give it up for Titus O'Neil. He's had Damien Sandow on the ropes for the past few moments. And
is there any doubting that, though? Titus O'Neil has become a very competent competitor over his time here in FCW and on NXT. So, you know, he's going to get better and better. He's going to weigh up all his mistakes. He obviously watches what he does and learns from his mistakes. And he's always picking veterans' brains, which is, you know, something that you have to do if you want to be a WWE superstar.
This right here is a maneuver that we saw used to great effect when Titus O'Neil and Damien Sandow teamed together. Either Titus or Damien would put their opponent in the abdominal stretch, and usually that set up the curtain call for their opponents. Right now, Sandow's finding out what it's like to feel the wrath of Titus O'Neil.
It's very good to see the way Titus has got his leg hooked precisely over the knee.
Sandow's in big time trouble right now. I gotta apologize, but we gotta take a break. This match will continue when we come back. Welcome back to Florida Championship Wrestling. It has been all Titus O'Neil defying the odds right now. The All-Stars of Maxine surrounding the ring as Damien Sandow and Titus O'Neil collide one-on-one and a rake of the eyes right there.
And throughout the break there, Titus O'Neil was smart. He started off with the abdominal stretch, which was applied perfectly, and he continued working on the abdomen area, which is, you know, is always a smart way to do things.
Well, Titus O'Neil stands 6'7", 275, but when you get a thumb in the eyes, it doesn't really matter.
That is the experience of Damien Sandow. You're seeing it right before your very eyes.
Sandow hooking both legs right there. Very smart move, but Titus O'Neil so powerful, kicks out at one.
Well, he doesn't know his own strength. I can vouch for that. You shake his hand, you get a check for a pulse afterwards.
Oh, man. O'Neil draped on the corner of the ring right now. Oh, good Lord.
Right in front of our general manager.
The experience showing there by Damien. He pulled his opponent out just that extra few inches that made his opponent fall to the floor, not stay on the apron, which is just, you know, you're going to knock the wind out of one way or the other, which is really, I keep saying the word smart, but it is smart competing.
You got to call it like it is, and this is very intelligent competing. This is warfare. This is not playtime. Lucky Cannon. Oh, man. Titus into the steel post.
Whoops.
The ring might have moved, but the ring won on that exchange.
Oh, man.
And how on earth can you counteract the combined forces of the All-Stars? I don't know that there's anybody in Florida Championship Wrestling that can do so. Sandow going for a cover.
Hey, getting to the top. Getting to the top doesn't have to be pretty. I said it before, I'll say it again. Damien Sandow made the choice to step out of the box to advance his career. And if it means Titus O'Neil's got to suffer.
Trying to put Titus away right now.
If it means Titus O'Neil has to suffer, then so be it.
Well, you see every time Titus O'Neil has to kick out right now, it's with less and less oomph. He just doesn't have as much energy as he does. He's suffering at the hands of all four All-Stars at some point or another during this match. Sandow just hammering away right now. And that's a vice-like grip. And this is a similar tactic to what Lucky Cannon utilized last week against Bo Rotundo. They're focusing on the ribs, on the midsection of Titus O'Neil.
You think about everything Damien Sandow's been through, coaching Titus O'Neil, helping him get better. It's like when you had that one pimple you just can't get rid of. This is Damien Sandow's chance to finally pop that pimple and never have to worry about it for the rest of his career.
Titus O'Neil, you see the pain all across his face. This man knows how to fight, but how do you fight four people at once? He's trying to get to a vertical base.
It reminded me of those 300-pound twins I used to be with then.
Well, that's another story for another day.
Titus O'Neil trying to get a couple of back elbows in on the side of the head of Sandow. Sandow's got the red and Lucky Cannon once again.
Bravo!
Not winning any friends, but I'm sure you guys would say it doesn't matter about friends, it matters about results. It's hard to argue with that philosophy.
Matt, let me ask you a question. If you had the general manager in your corner, if you had the Florida heavyweight champion in your corner, who else in FCW would you want?
There's nobody else. There's nobody better. They've got the Queen. They've also got the champion. The only thing they're lacking is the Florida Tag Team titles to make this the perfect storm, basically.
It could be said to, you know, is a fault of mine that I'm too nice to people. And you can't, in this business, you don't be worried about getting Christmas cards off people. You have to do what you have to do to succeed.
Sandow hooking both legs once again, and a very wise strategy because Titus O'Neil doesn't have just a vice-like grip. He's strong everywhere, very powerful legs, and he's able to kick out of some very dangerous situations.
Yeah, he looks really powerful right now.
Well, he certainly doesn't. Damien Sandow's got that hold well applied. And there is the experience factor of Sandow. He saw Titus O'Neil was in trouble, and he went right to that hold.
Did you see the way he's got the arm? He's trapped his hand underneath his armpit, which is, every little smart move that he's making there, he shows, a ring veteran. A definite veteran of the Canvas Wars.
You see the Divas champion cheering on. You see Maxine looking on from ringside as Titus O'Neil fighting for all he's worth. Then there's an abdominal stretch attempt here from Damien Sandow. Titus fighting, but Titus got caught. This is going to put more pressure on the midsection on the ribs. Lucky Cannon needs to get out. This is not legal. He's got to get out of the ring. But taunting Titus O'Neil.
He's just talking.
As I said before, Titus O'Neil applied the abdominal stretch quite perfectly. You'll have to tell me, did Damien Sandow teach him that maneuver, because he has it locked as well?
I believe so, but Titus O'Neil looking to reverse right here. Sandow right in the ropes.
Wise move, wise move.
The little nuances, just the way he hooked that leg over that knee and trapped it there. That's the way you have to apply an abdominal stretch.
Titus has been unable to get any momentum for more than just a few seconds at a time. And he's got to do something to create an opportunity where he can get some breathing room and somehow neutralize the All-Stars at ringside if he's going to be able to defeat Damien Sandow here tonight. Sandow into the buckle, and Titus might have that breathing room. A couple of shots here. O'Neil, hard forearm.
This is somewhat of a mistake here by Titus. You need to learn to throw strikes with both arms, and he was relying on his one arm there, and you have to be ready with everything you've got. And there was somewhat of an opening which gave Damien Sandow somewhat of a time to sort of recover.
I think the power game is coming into play right here as Titus takes Sandow down. Former partners colliding right there, and Titus got the better of that exchange. Now Titus picking up Damien Sandow. He might be going for that patented fall-away slam, and he's picking up Sandow with ease, it seems like, right now.
Do it already.
Sometimes all the skill in the world doesn't beat raw power, and that's what Titus O'Neil is showing us. Oh my goodness.
The general manager making...
Oh, yes!
Florida Heavyweight Championship title rammed right into the back of Titus O'Neil. No! Sandow just knocked the champ right off the apron.
Oh, watch out, Damien!
Clash of the Titus! Clash of the Titus! Titus rolls over, gets two. Titus got it done!
Here is your winner, Titus O'Neil!
I cannot believe that Titus O'Neil defied the odds right there. He overcame Oksana, Maxine, and Lucky Cannon to put Damien Sandow down for the count.
I couldn't have said it any better myself. We were out here and we're talking about how all the odds are stacked against Titus O'Neil, but he's just proved us wrong, and he's become the victor. That's a great thing for him.
Absolutely astounding turn of events right there, and Titus O'Neil gets his hand raised in victory. Look at Titus! Look at Titus! Lucky Cannon from behind with that title. That is 10 pounds of gold and leather.
I told you, Titus O'Neil did not realize what he's gotten himself into. It's not just Damien Sandow. You're dealing with all the All-Stars.
Titus O'Neil holding onto the ropes, taunting the All-Stars.
Real cute.
Titus O'Neil manages to escape, I would have said certain doom right there at the hands of the champion Sandow. Lucky looks upset to say the least as Titus escapes. The All-Stars did not get exactly what they wanted here tonight. I'm getting word that we are going to see Los Aviadores take on Richie Steamboat and Seth Rollins for the Florida Tag Team Championship next week. But right now, Titus O'Neil standing tall, standing proud for Byron Saxton and William Regal. I'm Matt Barlero. It's all said and it's all done. It's been real, it's been fun. We will see you next week right here on Florida Championship Wrestling.
Take care.